Welcome to episode 8, OSS for Monetization and Business Insights, turning operations into revenues. We have divided this podcast into sessions for easier understanding. Session 0, Introduction, the money side of OSS. Telecom is a business, a massive, capital-intensive, infrastructure-heavy business. That is the reason once upon a time, or earlier, before deregulation happened, it used to be part of government operations. But things have changed. Today, it is a business where every fiber cut or outage, even congestion, event, every customer complaint has financial impact in the form of time lost, opportunity lost, and bottom line is it impacts customer business. Welcome to the OSS Master Series. I'm your host Balaji Kumar, and today we are entering into the commercial brain of the telecom operations, where the world meets OSS meets revenues. This is episode 8, OSS for Monetization and Business Insights, turning operations into revenues. For decades, OSS, Operation Support Systems, were seen as the cost centers, whereas the BSS, Business Support Center systems, are more revenue generation systems. They are essential requirements for a telecom operator to run the network smoothly, but it's not glamorous because it's done in the back end. They kept the networks running, but they didn't directly make money. But that world is gone. Today, OSS is the revenue generating engine. It feeds the data for the pricing model. It powers new digital services. It enables 5G monetization in case of 5G networks. It drives the enterprise value. It protects revenues from leakage. It can predict churn. It optimizes the offer. It shapes the entire commercial strategy for a telecom operator. This episode is about how OSS becomes a business platform and not just an operational one. Session 1. Why monetization matters more than ever. Telecom operators in the last few decades have faced enormous pressure due to various reasons. Technology, overall deregulations and new regulations, systems, processes, changes, and they faced enormous pressure because of these in the form of revenues are flat or declining, costs are rising, competition is fierce, obviously because of deregulations, and customer expectations have changed, which are much higher than what it used to be. And networks like 5G or even 6G down the road requires huge investments, and enterprise services are exploding in complexity. Operators need new revenue streams, and they need it quickly. They need smarter pricing, which customers are willing to pay. They need better insights to understand customers and the type of services they need. They need to monetize the network in ways that were not impossible before, and also in a timely fashion. One of the fundamental challenge for telecom operators with respect to OSS to deploy any new service, any revenue generating model takes time. Customers don't wait for it. This is where OSS becomes very key, because OSS is the only system that truly knows what happened, when it happened, how it happened, who affected it, how severe it was, and how long it lasted, what resources were involved, and what customer experience was. This type of information or data is very valuable, and in episode 8 is about turning that valuable data into revenues and insights. Session 2, OSS plus BSS, the two halves of the money machine. To understand monetization in a telecom operator, we need to understand the partnership between two major domains or systems, OSS and BSS. BSS stands for Business Support Systems. Think of OSS as the execution engine, which deals with infrastructure and all those things and services tied from the infrastructure. It activates those services, of course leveraging the infrastructure, monitors the performance in terms of life cycle of the services, enforces policies, ensures the network behaves as promised. And think about BSS as the commercial engine, more like customer facing. It handles the pricing, billing, customer management or customer engagements, product catalog, and revenue assurance, even though the revenue assurance have to be tied to the service assurance because the service is the one driving the revenues. Together, these two, OSS and the BSS, form the monetization engine. In this relationship, OSS provides usage data, quality of service metrics, key performance indicators or KPIs, SLA compliance information, service level agreements, which you have with your customers with certain services for certain metrics, a certain time of the day, the network slice performance when the network is partitioned to meet certain SLA requirements, application telemetry, real-time policy enforcement. All of these things are part of OSS, and data coming out of the network which is generated via OSS systems. BSS takes this information and obviously converts it to customer bills, offers, discounts, penalties, credits, revenue forecast, product catalog, customer insights. So without OSS, BSS is blind. BSS is pretty much applicable to any industry which is customer facing. It doesn't have to be telecom. But in order to be tied to telecom, it has to tie to a product catalog, and the product catalog has bunch of services tied to OSS, which manages the services, and these services are riding on infrastructure, again, which OSS manages. So without the BSS, OSS is broke, like you don't make money out of it. You can't monetize with all the cost you have incurred. But without OSS, BSS is blind. It doesn't know what services to offer, how much to charge, what it costs, and all those things. So monetization requires both. Section 3. The real-time monetization, the heartbeat of digital services. Real-time monetization is powered by two systems. So one is called OCS, online charging systems. Another one is PCF, for policy control functions. These systems are sort of softwares. Systems work together with all the data it accumulates to enforce the rules in real time, instantly. Imagine a customer streaming video. A OCS checks the balance in real time, and the PCF enforces the quality of service for that video by checking the underlying connections, infrastructure requirements to make sure that this customer can get whatever quality of service they're expecting it and have an ability to provide it. So PCF enforces that quality of service rules for the duration of the video stream. If a customer buys a booster pack, the OCS updates it instantly. If the network is congested, the PCF adjusts priorities. Now all of these things are happening in real time. Monetization action in place. It enables zero rating, throttling, boosters, premium tiers, time-based passes, application-specific plans, parental control, fair usage policies, to name a few. There are other things which are more regulatory also can be coming into play, as certain content can't be seen during the daytime and all kinds of things. Real-time monetization is essential for digital services, gaming, video, and in case of 5G networks, slicing. Section 4. Offline monetization, the workhorse of telecom. So, an offline monetization is powered by things like call detailed record, trying to generate a CDR, which stands for after a call is completed. It can be a video call or an audio call. And UDR, usage detailed record, and then batch processing systems. If this is how postpaid billing works. It's how enterprise billing works. It's how wholesale billing works. Offline monetization handles things on the services side: voice, SMS, data, roaming, enterprise services, IoT device fleets, partner settlements. It is slower than real time. It deals with incredible amount of data, is very powerful, and deeply integrated with telecom operations. Session 5. Usage analytics, one of the most valuable outputs of OSS. It answers questions like: what apps are customers using? When do they use them? How much do they use? Which devices consumes the most data? Which location generates the most traffic? Which customers are heavy users? Which customers are risk of churn? The usage analytics powers personalized or customized offers, targeted upselling opportunities, network planning, make sure you have enough capacity, of course capacity forecasting, marketing campaigns, product design. It is a foundation of modern telecom strategy. Section 6. Customer behavior analytics. Knowing the customer better than they know themselves. Customer behavior analytics uses OSS data to understand preferences, patterns, habits, frustrations, loyalties, churn risk. For example, a customer who suddenly reduces usage may be unhappy. Customer who frequently hits data caps may be a candidate for upgrade. A customer who experiences repeated buffering may churn. A customer who uses gaming app may not want a low latency plan. OSS provides these server insights in the form of raw data. We can bring in AI into play to extract insights from this data and then use BSS systems to turn it into potential revenues, opportunities. Section 7. Revenue assurance, protecting the money. This is something usually has been an afterthought in the operators world. Revenue assurance nowadays is one of the most important and least appreciated functions in telecom. It ensures billing accuracy. At one time, I remember there's a huge business just to do billing audit for enterprise customers because there were so many errors in that environment. Usage accuracy, policy accuracy, fraud detection, leakage prevention. Typically, an operator in the aspects of revenue leakage can cost an operator 2 to 5% of the total revenues. When you're talking about billions of dollars in revenues, 2 to 5% is pretty big chunk. For example, in a $1 billion operator, that's tens of millions of dollars of lost revenues. OSS plays a critical role in providing accurate, timely, and complete usage data. Section 8. The SLA-driven and experience-driven monetization. Enterprise customers don't pay for the best efforts. They pay for guarantees. SLA-driven monetization ties revenues to latency, throughput, availability, jitter, packet loss, and experience KPIs. Experience-driven monetization goes even further. You pay for experience, outcomes, guarantees. You pay for application-specific performance. And this is the future of enterprise services. There are certain services the enterprise want guarantees. Like if you take a traditional service, voice service, they expect quality of service, audio without any echoes, jitters, or any other delays, buffering. I mean, smooth audio quality. It's taken for granted today. At one time it wasn't. Section 9 is about focusing on 5G and monetization of the current 5G network. This has been the biggest opportunities in decades. Even though 5G has been introduced and been rolled out, current usage is mostly on higher bandwidth type of applications. The real monetization, in my opinion, is yet to come. Some of the areas of monetization is network slicing. Basically, in 5G network, you slice the whole network, partition it to a specific service of specific SLA and provide it to the customers with guaranteed throughputs, latency tiers, and you can even structure this by industry vertical pricing. Then edge computing, where you deploy computes and storage and memory with low latency workloads closer to the customer. IoT monetization, device density, event-based billing, battery optimized plans, all of this can be provided by operators. Enterprise private networks, dedicated slicing, of course, of the 5G network as an example, custom SLAs, which varies by time of the day, duration of the year, weekdays, weekends, morning, evening, you can do any way you want. Premium assurances support wise. OSS is the engine that measures all these things and provides the data to enforce, validate all of this, and also provides, most importantly, legal cover in case of lawsuits, where you have the raw data to show exactly what happened and when it happened. Section 10, we partner ecosystem monetization. Operators can work with partners to monetize via APIs, wholesale services. There's a newer model called MVNO, which is mobile virtual network operators. It is a whole new industry where it's basically a marketing arm of a telecom operator, where they buy guarantees to buy capacity from the operator in bulk at a much discounted price, obviously, and then resell it with a different brand name to end customers because they feel like they have a targeted niche customer base who they can target with their value proposition of better customer service, maybe lower pricing, with limited set of services type of thing, or bundled services. Edge computing, like I said, providing compute resources storage closer to the customer, and then developers ecosystem to add applications on top of this platform, and partnership with cloud providers who are nowadays sort of partnered with the infrastructure provider or application specific systems provider. This transforms a network into a platform, a marketplace of capabilities, and OSS provides this usage data and makes it possible. Section 11, AI-driven business insights. As you know, AI is getting penetrated into the telecom operators' environment pretty dramatically in the last few years. AI is promising a lot of things. Some of the things we believe it can help is enhance the monetization in a very powerful ways, more like predictive revenues, forecast revenues based on usage, seasonality, behavior. We have seen a lot of these things in the past, but not at a very more frequent basis. For example, one of the busiest day or call volume day on a year is Mother's Day. So we know that based on historical perspective. Very similarly, we need to get similar type of data, not just on the voice, but across all kinds of services. Churn prediction, and then forecasting the revenues based on usage, seasonality, behavior, identify customers at risk who before they leave, so you can provide them incentives to stay. Offer optimization, personalized offer based on behavior and experience, fraud detection, and spot anomalies instantly. Last but not the least, dynamic pricing, where no two customers actually receive the same pricing, and which is already seen that in a little bit. Usually new customers get promotions, incentives, whereas they take existing customers for granted. Those type of things is happening a lot. Dynamic pricing, you adjust based on demand, congestion, experience. AI basically turns OS into business intelligence engines. Section 12, the future of autonomous monetization. In autonomous monetization, pricing becomes dynamic, which is sort of happening today to some extent in Amazon environment. You can see Amazon has similar products, and they try to price their Amazon product in a more friendly manner, customer friendly manner, maybe a few dollars lower than all the pricing nearest competition or pricing they've seen in their ecosystem and the platform, which is sort of conflict of interest, but that's how it works. And this enables them to provide better pricing always, and their product comes to the top, and the customer will be very inclined to select the one which is at the top and is cheaper compared to other products. All of these things are there in the retail side, but in the telecom side it is a little bit slow to come into reality because of other challenges. And that's what is happening with autonomous monetization. Offer-based real-time services become self-bundling. So if you are using certain type of services, they can add few more services and provide a better pricing, maybe a few extra dollars. The revenue becomes predictive, experience becomes the currency, and OSS becomes a commercial autopilot where they know exactly what is going on, what is customer preferences, and OSS will provide you information for the BSS system to develop offers. In closing, the OSS as a business engine, and that brings us to the end of episode 8. We have explored how OSS drives monetization, enables new business models, powering 5G slicing, supports enterprise services, and uses AI to optimize revenues. The next episode, we'll explore a little bit more detail AI native OSS, which is really where this thing OSS is going to go in the coming years. This is the next frontier of intelligence, prediction, and autonomy. Thanks for joining, and we will see you in the next episode. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for supporting.